welcome to the Work for Change podcast. It's your host, Jean.
And your other host, John.
And your special host, Sam.
Special.
That's correct.
Special host.
A very special host.
Special guest host.
I'm pretty sure this is episode 94.
94, I think.
Yeah, I'm fairly
If we're
certain.
wrong, then that's okay.
Yeah, you know, it ain't the end of the world. Right now, we got people working outside. You won't be able to hear it, I don't think so. But they are doing Hot Shots 19 because we were recording this on Labor Day.
Mm-hmm.
And Sam and I just finished doing Hot Shots 19. And it's been like, that was probably my real first CrossFit workout in almost a month.
Really?
Yeah. And so...
How did it feel?
Felt good. My back felt great the entire time. It's kind of tight now. We're about 1 hour after finishing.
Yeah.
And my back's kind of getting a little tight, but that was to be expected. My hands are torn up like no other. I've got multiple rips just from the power cleans, but...
How many times
How do you rip from doing power cleans?
I think it's when you don't have a good enough grip on it and you're cycling it. And, you know, when you're cycling fives, when you haven't really touched a barbell in like a month and you decide to cycle fives. So Hot Shots 19 is, it is a hero WOD that is based off of 19 firefighters who lost their lives in a fire, which 19 just blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think they got just circled and then they couldn't get their way out. And like, I think that workout, the original plan was I was going to either scale it or...
Well, what's the workout? Tell people if they don't know.
Yeah. So it's 6 rounds of 30 air squats, 19 power cleans, 135, 95, 7 strict pull-ups, and then a 400-meter run. And just like it, my option was I was either going to do it with Sam and do partner, or I was going to scale it because I just haven't really been doing CrossFit a lot.
Okay, let me make a prediction. You didn't do either of those things.
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Spoiler alert, I did the whole thing, and I've done it twice before, I've noticed.
Yeah, this is like the workout we almost always do here at the gym on Labor Day.
Yeah, Labor Day.
So this was my 3rd time, and also, spoiler alert, this was my slowest time, but that wasn't a big deal to me. I have not as consistent as I've been in the past, just because of dealing with back and stuff like that, but we currently have a pretty large fire happening in San Diego.
Yeah. Well, in East County, which is where we're at.
Yeah, like right where we are.
It's only a few miles away from us.
If you drive on the freeway, you see the fire.
Smoke. Yeah,
on the
you
mountain,
see like smoke and stuff too.
which is wild. And like I woke up like last night or 2 nights ago, and there's just ash all over our patio, all over our cars and stuff like that. So it's close and it's pretty wild. And not only that, but this week it's been 111, 115,
the hottest it's been all year.
Yeah, hottest been in a couple years.
Like record,
years,
yeah.
Yeah, record heat. So the combination of the 111 degree heat with this huge fire that's raging on Labor Day, where we normally do this Hot Shots 19, where we're celebrating the lives of 9 people who lost their lives in a fire. I just kind of felt, and we've got firefighters, you know, in our neighborhood who are out there in 100+ degree heat in full garb next to a fire trying to contain it. It was just kind of like, for me, it was like, okay, you know what? I am physically able to do this workout. I'm not going to try to be the most competitive I've ever been. I'm not going to try to beat my old times. I'm just going to do it in respect for that. It's a little tiny thing that I can do. And I think that's like the heart you should typically take into a hero WOD. When we do Murph, when we do stuff like that, it's like remembering the sacrifice, which puts you in put yourself in the cave. Remembering their sacrifice is kind of the idea of a hero WOD. And I think a lot of us, we get consumed with me, like personally, when I was making YouTube videos and the plan to make them again soon, and the Instagram content and taking pictures and photos, it's like, cool, I'm going to use this hero WOD and I'm going to gain some clout by doing this hero WOD. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a pretty like common thing for someone who's got somewhat of a following within the CrossFit space. And so for this one to just be like, I want to do this workout because there are people in my neighborhood who are at risk of a fire.
And when we were doing the runs outside, you can just smell it.
Yeah, you can smell the fire. I mean, it's not, again, it's within, you can see the smoke rising off the hills. Like,
yeah.
It's pretty crazy. But so like I said, I did it. And my back felt fine. We've talked about in the past my back. I've been really working on trying to work on core. Like everything I'm trying to like do like an amalgamation of everything everyone's told me ever, right? Like I'm trying to.
Haven't you in the past said you need to focus your efforts on one thing?
Yeah,
to
but
move
I don't know what it is. That's the problem.
I'm
like,
just kidding.
Yeah, I know. But like starting on one thing, like then my back hurts, and I'm like, oh well, this isn't the right one thing. Let me focus
Yeah.
on another one thing, and then my back hurts. I'm like, well, that's not the right one thing.
I haven't dissed you in a while for not stretching or anything.
I've been
so.
stretching. I've been stretching out my hips. I've been doing core exercises. I've been stretching out my back. I've got like a percussion massager. I've been putting that against my IT band. I've been rolling out. I've been putting the lacrosse ball on the bottom of my feet to just do that. I've been stretching out my hamstrings. I've like literally, and then I've been visiting the chiropractor on a regular basis. Like I'm literally trying to do everything that I've heard ever, and like just try to like put them all together and hope
Finally.
that something, the collective effort works. And I mean, I did this whole workout without stopping, without needing to like stop because of my back.
Running and squats, that
Running
usually
and
gets you.
yeah, normally. So having a 400-meter run directly into 30 squats was a pretty cool thing. But anyway, my hands are jacked up from the hero one.
Yeah.
Well, it's just surprising because when I saw that you had ripped your hands, I was like, man, you're not even kipping pull-ups. Like they have to be strict. And so that's why I was like, how did he even rip his hands?
Yeah, I think it's just the I think it's the power cleans.
Yeah.
Because you got the knurling on the bar and my
Yeah.
hands aren't used to that, like the friction of dropping and grabbing and dropping.
Yeah.
I think if it was singles, it'd be a little different because you don't have that. But
Mhm.
another thing is that I've always just reverted to singles every time, no matter what. It's like singles is the smarter option. That's what I'm going to do. I'll be happy with my score. And now I'm trying to like, what happens if I dig myself in a hole because I comboed some barbell movements, and then just work like, let me dig myself in a hole. Let me show up and blow up. You know what I mean? And then see what happens after that. And a lot of the times it's, crawling on the floor, crying or stopping a workout because my back hurts. But this one wasn't bad, and I'm pretty excited about it.
What about you, Sam? How was it for you?
I just really wanted to do this workout, like you said, and I partnered it.
Oh, come on.
So I've only done this workout, like the first time we did it was 2 years ago. Well, it'd be 3 Labor Days ago. And it's 6 rounds. I think I only got through 4 rounds. I was dying through the power cleans. I don't know why. I was like huffing and puffing, and people were like passing me. And I'm like, this workout, man, like, I don't know.
We made I filmed a YouTube video that day.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of,
Did you?
yeah. 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, and remember I was just sitting by the fan.
I filmed the workout video, and you were like so sad. And you were like, just like, this isn't me. And then Caleb, who you partnered with, also was there 2 years ago. And we were excited because this was the first CrossFit workout he did in a long time where he didn't throw up.
Yeah.
And that was like
yeah.
a big victory
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah. So, about 2 weeks later, after I did the workout, I was diagnosed with diabetes.
Oh,
And then I was
okay.
like, oh, that's why I felt so horrible.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, this workout scares me because that's all I think about.
Okay.
And I just haven't been feeling 100%. Like, we were gone all week on vacation. So, and Caleb has been killing it in the gym, has been coming like 5 times a week.
Lost 20 pounds.
Lost
plus.
25 pounds.
Wow.
And he's been killing it. And
Caleb's one of our very good friends. For
Yeah,
those
he's been on
listening
the
who might
podcast.
not know.
Yeah.
He's been on the podcast before.
I was like, do you want to partner it? Because his back is a little tweaked right now. And he's like, yeah. So we partnered it. And we did like really good. Like, we kept the same pace throughout. And it was really
you guys
fun.
both did great. You
Yeah.
guys both did
I did
great.
RX weight. So it was 95 for the power cleans. But I did some kipping pull-ups. I mixed in kipping.
I didn't do the workout because I recently got some new. I've been like messing with zero drop shoes, and so I'm wearing them right now. I'm wearing some like Vivo barefoot shoes. None of this stuff is sponsored. And I've been like walking around them, and I was like, I want to try out some zero drop running shoes, but I knew if I tried to use like I can't run in barefoot shoes. Like I'm too big of a boy. Like it would not be a good idea. And so for those that are listening that might not know, so basically what the drop is basically like when something's a 5 millimeter drop. The heel height might be, say it's 15 millimeters, and then the toe height might be 10 millimeters. So it's a 5 millimeter drop, right? So it's like when you're wearing running shoes, how you kind of feel like it's pushing you forward to run, right? That's usually what the drop is doing. But I don't know. There's people. This is a very argumented. Like people argue about this stuff all the time. But there are some people that say because of that, it shortens because your foot is up, right? It's almost like you're on your tippy toes, kind of. Not exactly, but kind of similar. So it shortens your like calf muscles and your ligaments and stuff like that in your bottom of your leg. This is not scientific at all. But so people say that it's supposed to help with like wearing zero drop helps with strengthening that stuff and lengthening it out again. And a big reason for me why I tried the zero drop shoes, I got some Ultra Escalante 2.5s, is that they have a really wide toe box, and I have wide feet. And one thing with running shoes is they always feel like they squish my feet. So I just got those yesterday, so I'm just impatient, and I was like, I want to try them today. But I was like, okay, well, I can't. Like normally, I would try and when I go on runs, it's minimum is 4 miles, and then usually I usually will go up to. So it's usually my runs are between 4 and 6 miles, like 4 miles and then 10K, which is 6.2 for whatever reason. I don't know why, but because normally it takes about an hour to run that, right? But today I was like, okay, there's no way I should run 4 miles or 6 miles. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do 2 miles. So I ran 2 miles and definitely felt weird. Like I can definitely tell my body is not used to running in shoes like that. So that's why I was like, I don't want to do anything super crazy. And I wasn't running fast at all. I was doing like for me 10-minute miles, which is like my pace if I'm running like a little bit over 6 miles usually. Right. So I was just going really slow. It was definitely different. Like I'm not sure like I want to continue trying them, but I just know that I can't. I need to be patient, which is not my strong suit. So it's like I need to, if I'm going to continue using these, I can't be like, okay, I'm going to run 4 miles next time I run. Like I just can't do that. I just know it wouldn't be a good idea. And like everything that I've read, it's all about kind of easing yourself into it. So I just need to be careful and like maybe even still mix in my other running shoes if I am going to go on a longer run. I don't know. But yeah, that's kind of why.
Why did you switch?
Just because I
they're just this is curiosity's sake. I'm asking as if I was actually someone who was interested. Okay, just kidding. There are a lot of people who have perfectly fine running careers using the Nike Fly runners, or the what I mean, and that's like a huge heel cushioning and stuff like that. So what's the impetus and what's the reasoning for wanting to use?
It's just honestly, it's like why not? Mm-hmm. Like for me, a lot of times I deal with when I like after I'm done with the run, like my ankle feels kind of weird or my back might feel a little weird and like from everything I've done with like looking into the body and stuff is everything is connected and it starts at the foot, right? Like if you're running, and so I'm thinking, okay, if I feel like my foot is cramped, which I do, that's probably not going to be a good thing when I'm going on runs. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, I had already got these barefoot shoes and I've been liking them a lot. Like obviously I would never run in these, at least not right now. It would be a bad idea. But I was like, okay, I think like I think for me it was like the philosophy of these shoes, which are Vivo barefoot shoes. I was like, I like the philosophy. I like them. They're very comfortable to wear. Like I can wear them all day. I've been going on walks with them, like again, slowly getting into them. And I was like, you know what? Like if I have that philosophy when I'm walking, why not see what happens if I try to do it when I'm running? And then so I have a couple friends that like them and I kind of talked to them about them. And like, yeah, give it a shot. So I was just like, why not? Honestly, it's just why not? Why not try? See if I like it. If I hate it, oh well. Yeah. Not the end of the world.
Well, I mean, our earliest ancestors, they all had like cushions on their feet that they ran when they were chasing their food. So your thing just doesn't really make sense for the anatomy of the body.
Well, I mean, I know the argument that you're saying, like that's why we should do things because our ancestors, blah, 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 right? But people use that argument for literally everything. Like, you should eat paleo because our ancestors in the back ate like this.
I was going to say paleo.
You should do this because our ancestors, and I'm like, that's not honestly not why I'm doing it. I'm sure it's fine. Like, if you don't have any problems wearing regular running shoes, I'm not going to be like, you should wear barefoot running shoes or you should wear zero drop running shoes. I don't care. Yeah. For me, it's like, why not give it a shot? I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me. Like, if you're running correctly, you shouldn't need extra protection, right? Like, I don't know. I feel like that's right. And I know that I don't run the best, So that's, again, why I'm going slow and, like, trying to ease my way into it. And like I said, I might hate it and I might, like, try it for a month and be like, yeah, it's not for me. I don't know. I'm not sitting here saying that I'm fully committed to it at all. But it's worth a shot at least, I feel like.
One of the things believe it or not, I'm going to say this.
What?
One of the things I respect about you,
oh God,
is that you aren't afraid to experiment on yourself. And I think not only so,
I have a tail now.
Are you a San? Like, not only are you not afraid to experiment on yourself, but like, you have a lot of people kind of looking for you to fail. You know what I mean? On social media and whatever. Like, for anyone who's doing something right is going to have haters, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, one of the things I do respect is that you are very open about your experiments. And it's coming from a point of like, hey, well, if some people say this helps, then I'm willing to try it. And if it does, then I'll be an advocate for it. And if it doesn't help for me, then I'll just say that wasn't for me.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of that comes, I mean, from the very beginning, you were kind of just like, that was a lot of the YouTube videos you watched and stuff, right? Where just kind of like, hey, like, experiment with your macros. Like, if you're not losing weight in 2 weeks, okay, lower it a little bit. Like, be your own science experiment. I think a lot of people, they are so afraid of messing up that they just don't try anything.
Yeah, for me, I think a big thing is I've never tried to act like I'm the know-it-all, be-all, like, or even like with this stuff, right? Like, I'm some super athlete that is like I'm not, right? Like, I trained for a marathon. It took me 5.5 hours. Like, that is not a good time. Yeah. That's not a good time, you know? But I mean, I did it. Yeah, I did it, you know? And like, so for me, I guess I think that's part of it, is it takes that pressure off me because I've never tried to act like I'm someone I'm not. And that's something that you see a lot on social media, is people like act like they are someone that they're not, and then they feel like they have to be better than XYZ person. And for me, I'm like, dude, I suck at running. I suck at these things, but I don't mind trying it, and I don't mind sharing it either. It's like, I think everyone is so used to seeing these people that are naturally good at things. And of course they work very hard at it. And I'm not saying that that's not true, but it's like, I'm not, but I'll still try. And I don't know. I don't mind. Yeah. I don't mind sharing things. And I think for that, it's cultivated a following of people that understand that. And they're just like, you know, like, they're just excited. Like, cause I'm not like super jacked person, right? Like, I'm not like some Adonis looking guy, but I mean, I feel like I look pretty good from where I started, and it was all because I just worked really hard for it. It's been 7 years of lifting now, you know, like, and so I think people like seeing someone that is a normal person just trying things out. And like, especially like experimenting and stuff like that. I think that stuff's really important.
Yeah, I definitely have unfollowed people on Instagram when they are like, oh, I did this and I'm perfect. Like, all this, huh?
I unfollow John David every time he tries something and fails.
No, like, when people are like, I am perfect. Like, and they just portray that. Like, I'm like, you're not relatable. I'm going to unfollow you. Like,
totally.
You know?
Relatability is huge. And I think that a lot of people have, you know, well, like, the prime example is bloggers who put up where everything in their house is bleached white. And it's like, filter. Yeah. You clean that for that picture. Yeah. You know, like, and I think a lot of people, it's the way that it works with everything. Like, it's at first the people who, like, on a new product, new platform, it's the people who seem like they have everything together. They blow up. And then the more people try to follow them, the more they realize, oh, this is shallow. This is a shell. This is whatever. And then it's like the people, it's that slow gathering of like people who are consistent, who are trying to add value, who are experimenting, who are, you know, they just kind of keep on going, and they're never going to have that flash in the pan, like, moment of popularity. But it is a matter of, like, the truth is that consistency isn't sexy, and it never will be. Like, doing the work, like, packing, when we went on our, we just came back from a, like, vacation to Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon. It was beautiful. We stayed at this, like, tiny home, and, like, one of the first things I just wanted to do is I just wanted to go to the local store, buy some ground beef, ground turkey, and rice, and make some lunches, like, just so I knew that, like, there was at least some consistency. I didn't mind going out to dinner. I didn't mind the little, like, snacks and stuff we did, but it was like, if I can just have, you know, our breakfasts were pretty consistent, and our lunches were pretty consistent, and dinners were fine. Like, that's not sexy. Like, it'd be a lot more fun to, like, go out, try different restaurants, try different things every single day. But it's like, I don't know, like, that's the commitment that is where you see results. Kind of like with me trying to stretch out my back.
Well, tell us about that trip that you went on. I mean, you kind of just brushed over it, but you guys were gone for about a week, and I was dog sitting Bailey.
Yeah, Bailey's here. Bailey's right inside the office. She's just laying down.
She has a lot to say.
She does. Sam's beeping
I'm
again.
beeping.
She is a cyborg.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
Do you have to carry that thing and of your phone with you at all times?
Yes.
Why,
So
why
that,
don't they just
that
make that
guy's
an
a,
app?
That guy's a PDM.
This is a PDM.
They're developing one.
They are developing one.
That is an old phone that has been turned into
Oh,
a
Yeah.
PDM.
so you literally have to carry two
That's
phones
like
on
those
you.
like early
Are you a drug
2001
dealer?
touchscreens.
Yes. This is my
your burner.
burner phone.
burner phone.
For everyone who doesn't know, I am now an insulin pumper.
Yeah.
I am now on the Omnipod, for if anyone knows.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but hey, reach out.
Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like there's a couple insulin pumps that are like the popular ones. One has tubes, and then like if you have to work out, though, you have to disconnect, and so you're not receiving insulin. So I was like, I do CrossFit every day. That's not going to work out, you know. So I'm on the tubeless insulin pump, the Omnipod, and so that's like my second burner phone, as we like to call it. And so I just enter like how many units I want, or I can enter how many carbs I want, and it just like sends it. I don't have to like inject anymore. It's been
So-
really nice.
Are there one? So is the tubed one? Is that one that you don't have to do anything and it just does everything?
The
You don't have
tube
to
one is
enter
a little
anything?
bit more high tech, so it'll work with like the Dexcom, which is my CGM, the continued glucose monitor. So it kind of works with that. So if it's like I'm trending low, it'll suspend all insulin. Omnipod will get there. It doesn't have that capability yet, but it's fine. Like this is high tech for me, you know. Like I went from just like injecting it, you know. So now I can do like half and quarter units, which I was never able to do before. So it's like more exact.
So the,
Yeah.
the process before was Sam's blood sugar would be running high. We had a meal and it was a delayed spike. And so now her blood sugar's running high and we're in the car on the way home and she's like, we need to stop. I'm like, I'm sorry, I can't stop. We need to stop because I need to be able to inject and I don't want to do it in a moving car.
It's so
we-
hard in a moving car.
So we'd pull over, she'd inject with her pen, get insulin, okay, let's go. Or whatever. Like she'd go on a hike and she'd be like, okay, well I have to make sure that my pens stay cool because they can't be in the sun, so we need to get like a little pack, blah, 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 blah. Like there's a lot of processes. With this pump that's now attached to her, that is just another thing that beeps.
It beeps constantly.
Now she can just she can just grab her burner phone and she can say, oh, I'm running high. I need to have 3 units within the next hour. 3, boom, boom. And the thing will just immediately start injecting. And she can do that while we're driving, while we're hiking, while we're...
Or it's like if I go out to dinner, it's not really if I cook anything at home, but like, you know, out to dinner has extra fat in it, you know? So that'll have a delayed spike. So I can like give myself insulin right up front for the carbs I'm going to eat. And like, I'm probably going to spike in 3 hours. And I can like program it to like start giving me more insulin during that time. So I won't ever have that delayed spike.
So it's pretty cool.
Interesting.
Still getting
Yeah.
used to it.
Yeah. So sorry for the beeping.
Yeah, so what we
Why
did...
does it beep? Is it like telling you,
sometimes
hey,
it's
we're
telling
doing
you-
things
Sometimes
now?
it's telling you the battery's dying. Sometimes it's telling
it's just
you
telling me stuff all the time.
that like if she did like a 3-hour extended one, then it'd be like the 3 hours over, big beep.
Oh,
And,
okay.
you know,
Yeah.
like random stuff, or it'll be like, oh, now it's starting the delayed onset one.
They should get an app that makes it so it like connects to your watch and it just buzzes.
The Dexcom
So you-
has that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it'll tell you what your blood sugar is to your Apple
Apple
Watch,
Watch.
but I'm a
Which-
Fitbit girl.
Because we
We're
all live together.
considering the
We all live
considering-
together, and they
Apple
go to
Watch.
sleep much earlier than I do. So
At a normal
usually
time.
they go to sleep at 9 a.m. 9 p.m. They go to sleep at 9 p.m. and I usually
we
go to
are
sleep.
definitely getting ready for bed by 9.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I usually go to sleep at like between 11 and 1. So it just depends. And so I'll be like sitting down, maybe watching, I don't know, YouTube videos or whatever. That's usually the only time that I'm like relaxing is at night. So I think that's why I stay up so late. But I'll just hear beep, beep, beep. And then sometimes it'll be one time, but then sometimes it'll be like for like 20 minutes just
Do you
straight.
hear Jean mumble?
No, I don't hear.
Yeah, because a lot of the times it'll happen at like 3 a.m. and it'll
Yeah.
wake me up, maybe like 1 a.m. or something like that, and it'll wake me up. And I like try to get up by 5:30 anyway. You know, like no 5:30. I try to get up by like 4. 4:45 around
You're on
there.
vacation time still.
I know, wow. So I try to get up at like 4:30, 4:45 anyway. So when it's like 1 or 2, I'm like almost have to get up
Yeah.
anyway. And I hear this thing, and I'll look on my phone, and it'll be like 17 notifications. And 17 means the amount of times it went 5 beeps and incredibly loud.
It's loud.
It does it every
It's
5
super loud.
minutes.
I just sleep through it.
Yeah, I know. And it's so we switched it to 1 beep, which is not the best because we both sleep
But
through
now
that
I
one.
have like PTS, and like every time it beeps, I like jolt up because I'm like, I don't want my husband to yell at me.
Yeah.
anymore.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah.
John just talks loudly.
I do. I'm
He's
working
working
on
on
my
his tone.
That was a big topic of conversation at this thing that I'm going to talk about right now.
I was going to say, we totally got off track there.
Yeah. So,
Sorry, it was the beeping.
well, what happened, the reason I thought about bringing it up is because on the way home from our trip, which I will get to, we recently spent some time at Zion National Park, Bryce Canyon National Park. I just said that.
In Utah.
In Utah, we went with some friends. I was going to say family friends, but they're just friends. We're friends with their family, though.
Well, I mean, I'd say they're family friends.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
family friends. Yeah, I'd say that. And, well, when I hear family friends, I think they're my mom's friends.
Oh, okay.
Like, that's what I think of. And it's like, yeah, I mean, I'm friends with them, too, but they're my mom's friends. Those are family
They're
friends.
everyone's
In my
friends.
mind, that's how that works. True or not?
So basically, Mike, we're saying you're not a friend.
Yeah.
You're
Well,
not-
shout out
you're
to
not
Big
a
Mike.
family
Everyone
friend.
knows Big
You're not
Mike.
a family friend. You're a friend. Hey, Big Mike. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Can't wait for the text from him
I know.
when he hears this.
Yeah.
And so we went to Bryce Canyon just for a couple days. We flew out to Salt Lake City on Monday. We drove up to
Zion.
Zion for Tuesday, spent some time in Zion. And then we drove to Bryce Canyon on Wednesday.
Which Bryce Canyon was way cool. I don't know why Zion's so much more popular.
Yeah, so Zion has a whole bunch of like landmarks, like popular landmarks, like Angels Landing. I always call it Angels Falls. That's not what it's called.
Probably because people fall.
Angels Landing, and then there's also one called the Narrows, and both of those are closed currently. Angels Landing is closed because it ends up becoming like a 5-foot trail with just drops on both ends. And in order to pass someone, you have to like brush past them, you know? And since that's not social distancing, so they
Yeah.
closed that part down. And then the Narrows isn't technically closed.
But there's like bacteria in the river.
That has like killed a dog.
Yeah.
And we were like, let's not do that.
Let's just not do that. So we did other
Poor
ones.
dog.
Yeah. So then we did some other like overlooks and stuff, and it was still beautiful.
Yes.
And then Bryce Canyon doesn't have any of those like majestic things, but like all in all, it is so beautiful.
Yeah.
There's these just orange rocks, like just so orange, and they like jut up out of the ground.
I'm just thinking that there's just actual oranges on the ground. John thought
So
it was
many
orange
oranges,
rocks.
yeah.
What are these orange rocks? It's crazy.
That's an orange.
And it's like these
That's a tangerine.
it's like these canyons that you just like. It's just incredible.
Literally, it felt like we were walking through like a ride at Disneyland.
Like, it felt like we were in the Cars Land or something.
Yeah.
Like it was so just.
Yeah, that's the way to. It was so beautiful. It was like Cars Land Disneyland. It was absolutely
California Adventure.
Yeah,
majestic.
I am uncultured.
It was just like all like what was it? It's a Small World. It was absolutely beautiful.
Well, it was funny because it's like we were walking through and you start the hike and it's like all downhill, all like little rocks. So we were like stopped every 5 seconds. We're like, beautiful. Let's take a picture. Let's take a selfie. Beautiful. Walking. And then towards the end, it's all literally like incline.
So you walk down the canyon. So it's like, oh, we're walking down, blah, blah, blah. And then like at the bottom of the
Shady.
canyon, there's trees. It's just so beautiful. Like you're like, I just want to set out a blanket and have a picnic right here. It's like there's
Logs
these
to sit on.
Logs, and there's like, you just see the canyon walls all around you, and it's just so beautiful. But then you got to get back up.
And it was like
That's the fun
what they
part,
call
yeah.
it?
Zigzag.
It's like zigzags.
Yeah, it's like-
that's not the technical name, but I
That's
can't
not-
remember.
Switchbacks.
Switchbacks.
Yeah.
So all these
Nice.
super inclined switchbacks.
I know what I'm talking about.
And Jean was like, hey, do you think I can run up these?
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I was hoping you'd say no. Okay, see ya. And so he literally
I ran up the switchbacks, and I did it.
Ran up every single switchback except for like one because that's when we started walking
Yeah.
together. And he just kept going and going. And I would walk the switchback, look at him,
And there
then
was
I would
like
walk again.
There's like these two girls who
Yeah, I
were
was-
probably our age, maybe
Yeah,
a little younger.
I was walking with them and they were like, what is he doing? Why is he doing that? Stop.
still
He's
going.
still going. And then like there
so
was
then I made it up, and I
Yeah.
like die for a second, but then I like finally catch my breath, and I'm like, all right, Sam, come on, you got this.
She's
And-
like, nah, dog.
And those girls were like, she's not doing it.
and so I ran up the last one. They're like, what are you doing?
Yeah. You betrayed us.
Yeah. It
But
was fun.
Yeah, and then so there's a lot of driving though. I mean, we flew to Salt Lake, which was 6 hours worth of travel,
Like 4.
but between the layover and all
Oh,
that.
yeah.
And then we stayed in Salt Lake, and then we drove 5 hours to
The national parks.
the national parks, and then where we were staying was an hour away from each of the national parks. So there's an hour each way, both ways. And then we drove back, 5-6 hours, and we flew back another 5-6 hours. So it was just a lot of traveling, and I'm super grateful we did it. Next time, I think I want to like tent in a national park and just like wake up and be like, I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet. Like no packing and getting
Yeah.
ready. Like we're just sitting there.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah.
I don't want to tent in anything.
Oh well, I mean, my plan is that
I'm good.
I'm gonna deck out the truck. I want to get like I want to get one of those tents that come out of the bed of the truck, and then you have like you can put the like an air mattress in the bed and stuff like that. I mean, I'm gonna glamp as much as truck camping. It's called overland. It's a pretty common.
As long as there's a toilet.
Yeah, my YouTube.
I need to shower, man.
My YouTube.
I don't really need a shower. If
I
you
need
just
a shower.
Baby,
My
wake
YouTube
me up,
algorithm.
baby.
My YouTube algorithm is becoming very campy.
Yeah.
Literally campy, like literally. I'm like looking up because you can still shower. Like you just get like a tank, and then you it's like a pump, and it adds like air pressure to the tank, and then you just boom, there you go.
I don't
Nah.
sweat as much as you though, so.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't like.
so, yeah,
for
you-
me, you guys,
But like so
sweating as
campsites,
much as I do is
standard
not fun.
campsites, you set up a tent and stuff.
Uh-huh.
Typically, will have a shared bathroom shower like situation.
Yeah,
Kind of
as
like
long
a,
as I have that, I
kind of like
think
a
I'd
park.
be all right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like typically,
just
like
have to
when
bring my
I s-
Crocs with me so I don't
Yeah,
have to
like-
stand on the ground.
Yeah, COVID.
Yeah, to put them in 4x4 mode so that they don't
Yeah.
slip off your feet.
Yep.
You know.
Sport mode, baby.
Yeah. So typically, like when I stayed at Yosemite a couple years ago, everyone had their individual campsites, but then there was one bathroom and shower area.
Yeah, I've seen that before.
Yeah,
so-
that's fine.
Yeah, I could do that. I would love to do that. I was like looking up local campsites to like. There was this YouTube video I saw where this guy was like, everything you need under $150, and he did it like a whole camp, like tent, silverware, equipment, everything under $150. That he bought everything at Walmart, not sponsored. And so seeing that is like, oh, okay. So if I just buy my equipment for $150 and then slowly upgrade as I do it more,
Mhm.
that might be the way. Like, because then you get the equipment to just start, and then as you learn what you'd prefer and what you need, you can kind of upgrade your gear from there.
I'm more of a beach camping girl.
Or we could do both. We live in San Diego.
Yeah.
We could do mountain camping, lake camping, beach camping, desert camping.
I know. And like the same
week,
Same week.
Yeah.
day if
Yeah.
you want
Same
to.
day, yeah.
You can visit each one in the same day. It's kind of hard to go camping in one day.
Yeah.
But like
You just set up the tent, go inside for a second,
Yeah,
then tear
exactly.
it down.
Yeah, there's been multiple times I've been in the mountains, then the desert,
Yeah.
then the beach.
So people are listening are probably like, why didn't John go? And I was supposed to, but it's just, you guys know I have anxiety, and it was running pretty high during the
we asked him not to go.
yeah.
We're like,
They
you
said
have,
you have
we have,
to-
you have anxiety.
They said
We don't
you
want
have to watch the dog. You don't have any choice. But so during the planning, I don't know if anyone else can relate to this that's watching or listening, but during like the planning phase, my anxiety was pretty high, and we'll actually go into what I've been doing to help with it. But so for some reason, when my anxiety is like that, like especially if I'm in a group chat, I just cannot respond at all. And so they were setting up all these plans, and I was in the group chat, and I never replied one time, and it was just. And then by the time it was time to actually make plans, it was pretty obvious that I wasn't going to go. So, but yeah, I was supposed to go, but I don't know. It kind of worked out because I was able to watch Bailey here at the house, and we got to spend some
We
time
missed
together.
her so much.
Oh my gosh, we missed her so much.
Yeah.
I like. Mike doesn't know this yet, so you're gonna find this out, Mike.
What?
The night that we flew back to Salt Lake or drove back to Salt Lake,
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I took Sam aside, and I was like, I get homesick. I don't know why.
And I didn't know that
I
about
don't-
you.
I have left, like in elementary school, 6th grade camp, all those things. I left early because I get homesick. I know. And so the night we drove back to Salt Lake, we were gonna sleep in Salt Lake, and then we had a flight at like 2. So we had the whole morning and stuff. And I like took Sam aside. I'm like, can we find a flight tonight? Like I want to go home tonight. I just want to go home. And it was like, part of it was like I wanted to see my dog. I just kind of didn't want to have to spend another night and another morning somewhere else. And then, because once you, like, 2 o'clock flight, and then it takes 5+ hours to get home, it's like, that's a whole day just dedicated to travel.
Yeah.
Like, you got nothing done that day.
Yeah.
And so, like, I just, like, started feeling really, like, homesicky, which is super weird. And that hasn't happened to me in a long time.
That's so weird. I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
I've never been like that.
Yeah.
Well, you're an extrovert.
Maybe,
Like,
maybe do you think that's it?
I
Like,
think
even
that's
as a
part of
little
it.
kid, I
'Cause I
would
like-
spend the night
yeah.
at places, like, super young and not go home at all.
I would cry and I would go back home. I was
Yeah.
the kid that would call mom at 2 a.m.
Wow.
I just need my, like, spot. You know what I mean? Like, a place that's
Yeah.
mine, I think, is just a huge, like...
So you say that, but then you have all these plans of becoming a camper boy.
So here's the difference. And again, it has nothing to do with the company we're with. And I don't want Mike to feel, or anyone to feel like
I
they're
wanted
not.
to stay, Mike.
Yeah.
Wow. You're so mean to Mike.
I think part of it was that the original plan was we were going to drive up because we were going to go to Yellowstone instead, which made more sense to drive up.
Mm-hmm.
And if we drove up, then I can drive my car. You know what I mean? We can stay in, like, I could have control over driving, just little things like that. Like,
And
where it's
Bailey.
and we could have brought our dog. Like,
Uh-huh.
little things like that would have given me more control. And I think being in a different place where I had zero control, and again, he would be like, you could have driven the car anytime. You could have this, you could have blah, blah, blah. But, like, for some reason, that element of, like, I don't have any control here. Like, I just wanted to go back home where at least I have some level of, like, okay, I know what's going to happen. I know what's next. I know where this thing goes. You know what I mean? Like, just like little things like that. Like, and I typically, I like to wake up early, but it's mainly because I like to get things done in the morning. But there it was like, I found myself waking up really early because it was like I was in control of my morning. I had brewed coffee. I relaxed. I worked
Edit photos. For
edit
us.
photos. I worked on some T-shirt designs. I like that was my time where I just kind of like, okay, no matter what else happens today, I'm in control of this time because I woke up early.
And I would sleep in because vacay.
Yeah. And I wanted to sleep in, but it was just like wasn't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And so it was very weird. I found like I have not felt like that homesickness of like and once we made the decision that we were staying, like we looked, there were no flights, whatever. We got Chick-fil-A that night. We played heads up, went to bed, woke up, went to a gym, dropped in, got a workout in.
Yeah, that was
By
fun.
that time we packed up and we were ready. Like I was fine. Like there was no like I had no residual.
Only a few tears were shed.
I had no residual feelings after that. It was just like 15 minutes of like I want to go home.
Oh, you started overthinking, and then
It was very weird, very
Yeah,
interesting.
I've never had that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what I've been doing recently, something that I've been talking about,
You were saying you wanted to tell
is
us.
so with the anxiety, I noticed that it would normally happen, and it's not like I would get an attack every day, but I would feel really anxious after I would have my morning coffee. And I've obviously done a lot of reading, and I've heard a lot of people say that like caffeine can really trigger it a lot. And I was always the person anytime I've told, so what I've done is cut out caffeine, right? So anytime I tell someone that I'm cutting out caffeine, they're like, I could never do that, right? And I used to be that person. I was like, I could never do that, because I would drink like 2 cups a day, probably most of the time, which really isn't that much compared to other people. But
So caffeine,
and plus pre-workout too.
Caffeine, you're more specifically saying your morning coffee.
Well, I mean, mostly caffeine. Like I'll have the most caffeine I'll have is a decaf coffee and then maybe a diet soda. So it's not like those things compared are so low, But yeah, so I noticed like in the morning I would feel more anxious after I would drink the coffee. And so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to give it a shot. And it's been working really well. Like the anxiety definitely has gone down, especially like in the morning, which is nice because when it happens in the morning, I mean, the whole day just kind of gets ruined. But it was definitely for me, like the first day was really hard. The first full day, like I definitely had some headaches. But I think because I wasn't drinking, I drank a good amount because I would drink coffee and pre-workout, but I didn't have pre-workout every day. But like I know that there's some people that drink like 3-4 cups of coffee a day, maybe even more, right?
She's for the visual people or the audio people. Sam is pointing at me.
Yeah. And so I think that might have helped me, because I know some people say like it lasts like 2 weeks, you have headaches every day, and I haven't really dealt with that. It's been more like by about 3 p.m. I'm just like really tired, like extra tired. And a lot of times I've noticed is like normally around that time I would have like a cup of coffee or something, or I'd go to Starbucks or something, And so it's been it's been interesting. Like, I didn't think I would be able to do it. Like, I honestly, but it was almost one of those things that was like out of necessity. I was like, I'm going to make this decision, because it was like the other option was, you know, just literally forcing myself to have anxiety is what it felt like by drinking the coffee. And it's been weird because it's completely like, for me, routine is a big thing. And I know that's really common with people that have anxiety. And so my routine in the morning is a little bit different now, because I normally will make a decaf coffee because I bought some decaf. But like this morning, I just didn't. I was like, I don't feel like going through the trouble, because it's more just for like the routine, and there's no benefit. It's not like I'm getting a bunch of caffeine from it and like feeling more awake. So but I definitely feel like my personality is a little bit different. Like I'm more relaxed. Like probably in this podcast you can tell, like I just feel like more kind of just chill, I guess. I don't know. Like it feels like the mood is less like up and down and more kind of stable.
Yeah. Is the weed helping?
Yeah.
Not sponsored.
No, I don't smoke or take. I don't take any weeds. But yeah, I don't know. It's been interesting, but I've kind of I don't know. I think I'm like a week and a half into that, maybe 2 weeks. I don't know exactly.
Well, I wonder if like the decaf's helping your like not have too many headaches, because I gave up.
You're tricking your mind.
Yeah, and maybe just like the tiny bit, you know. Like when I gave up coffee for a month, and it was like right after I was diagnosed with diabetes, and like 2 weeks in, I was getting horrible headaches, and I'm like, I'm getting worse. I want to look it up now. I'm getting worse. Something's wrong, and I emailed.
Look what up?
How much caffeine is in decaf?
And I emailed my doctor, and I was like, I'm getting these really bad headaches. I think something's wrong. And I was like, oh wait, I gave up coffee.
Didn't I? I was like, babe, you gave up coffee. Yeah. And you were like immediately like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, okay. I thought I was like, something's happening to me.
Yeah. I know that it depends on.
But I didn't do any decaf.
It depends on. This is my barista knowledge coming out. It depends on how the bean was made decaf. That is going to be the amount of coffee. There's a washed method where they just wash it a whole bunch and then it rubs off the caffeine. That will have a lot more caffeine than there's a chemical method. But the problem is you add chemicals and then people are like, that's not organic, that's not good.
So it says,
that's like the preservative
studies have shown that virtually all types of decaf coffee contain caffeine. On average, an 8-ounce a cup of decaf coffee contains up to 7 milligrams of caffeine, whereas a cup of regular coffee provides 70 to 140 milligrams. So it's like
it's just like a
way
tiny,
lower.
tiny bit.
And then I don't know how much
like
is in like
Folgers, right? Like
it's like really crappy decaf coffee. But I'm more drinking it just for the taste of the things I put in it.
The many
I like
things you
I
put
like
in
tan coffee. I don't like black coffee.
you like white coffee.
Black coffee is just hot bean water, and I don't like that.
I like
hot bean juice.
I like hot bean water.
Hot bean juice. No, thank you.
Yeah, I like here's one of the big things. When you weigh and measure your food, you realize how off your eye is compared to a scale. The one of the biggest ones. Everyone freaks out about the peanut butter size.
I could probably do peanut butter.
Like that one wasn't a big deal to me. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
that's how much a serving of peanut butter is. That's not that big of a deal to me. The serving of coffee,
creamer
blows my mind. Yeah, serving
Creamer?
a coffee creamer. Like,
Yeah.
it's like little like boop.
It doesn't even fill the entire like bottom of your cup.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like when I used to do it, I'd be like, bottom of the cup, about half an inch. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I do one serving, which is about 35 calories.
And he does one serving for me, or else my blood sugar would spike in the morning.
Yeah. And so I do one. I used to do 2 servings, and then now I'm down to 1 serving.
Yeah.
And I can drink it black. It's not like a thing. Like I don't mind coffee black at all.
I could drink it black too, but I prefer a little.
Yeah. But
you like it to taste good and not taste like hot bean water.
But the fact that like some cups, depending on the cup you're using, you do a serving, and it doesn't even fill the bottom of your cup. Just feels like such an atrocity.
Well,
but it's fine.
Well, it's crazy if you look at like how many servings are in a coffee creamer, like a regular size one. It's like 116 servings.
Yeah.
Not your kind of coffee.
Mine is like 10 servings. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
it's not
ours
that bad.
can last us like months. And
Yeah, our coffee creamer will last us a long time. We always know.
So now I'm the person that buys the coffee creamer for the house.
Because we we maybe use an inch and a half by the time he
and we didn't have
finishes
any
the
for a
whole-
while, and we didn't care.
Yeah, we just drink it black.
Yeah. I like maybe a splash of almond milk, but I like cold brew or like iced coffee black.
I just bought this almond milk that I saw at Target. It's almond milk with like banana in it.
Oh, was it
It's
good?
like thick. Yeah, it was good. All I did was I just drank it, and I was like, "What does this taste?" Because that's how I'm mean, I'm sure
Like
everyone
at
can
the
relate.
store, you just drank it and then put it back.
yeah,
put it
and
back.
then I poured it all over the ground, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Clean this up," and I had someone come clean it.
Yeah.
naturally.
No, but I like bought it, and I was like,
Making
"Oh, I
me
want to
wear a
taste this."
mask.
Yeah, make me wear a mask. I drank it through the mask and poured it on the mask, and then sucked it through
Yeah.
the whole time.
Naturally.
But I saw it, and I was like, "Good, sounds good." It's like 80 calories a serving, which is only 20 more than like the sweetened one.
That would
Unsweetened
probably,
is like 30.
they'd probably be good in like a protein shake.
Yeah, or like, a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know. Hint of honey is still.
hint honey's good, but the banana
Almond
one's good,
milk,
man.
yeah, almond milk,
You
hint
can
of
put it
honey.
like. I mean, it might be a little weird in cereal because it's kind of thicker,
Mm.
like because bananas are
But I
thicker.
kind of like that.
But yeah, you like that thickness.
Yeah.
Hey man, we grew up on whole milk.
That's true.
We weren't even that 2% family.
I was
no.
a 2%.
We were a
family.
whole milk family. A thick whole milk. You know what I mean? Made some thick boys.
It's
remember
just
used
because of the milk.
I used to
Yeah.
literally drink just cups of milk.
Me too.
I
And like,
think about that now. I'm like, why?
well, I made
Milk, that's a common drink. A cup
Yeah.
of milk.
especially when you're a kid.
Yeah.
But like the other day,
But
I
I
made.
mean, it was a big cup of milk.
Yeah.
Like it was like 16 ounces of
What
just
would I?
straight milk.
I would drink milk, but what would I drink milk with?
chocolate.
Like, yeah, chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk.
But like milk and cookies, milk and brownies,
Mm-hmm.
milk and I mean, I think that's
That's what made the
pretty.
thick boys.
No, it was the milk. It wasn't the cookies and brownies.
No, I made like bread the other day, and it called for like whole milk. So I was like, I'll get 1%. And so I bought 1% milk, and I poured it in a cup to like bake with. And I was like, I'm gonna drink this. And I took a sip, and I'm like, that was so good. Like I was like,
1%.
yeah.
You like?
Well, I haven't had milk in a while. I like drink almond milk.
1%
Teat
milk
water.
is just white water.
Yeah,
is
it's
what it
just
is.
teat water.
It was so good, you guys. You should drink some milk.
No, I'm not.
Hint of honey almond milk
I'm gonna
is
poop my
the
brains out if
jam.
I did that.
Is the jam.
That is a good one.
Yeah. I'm just an unsweetened vanilla kind of
Y'all,
girl.
if
Of
you
course
guys
you
should
are,
try it. I
because you're
don't know if you
diabetic.
yeah. I don't know if you guys have a Vons or an Albertsons or whatever near
Safeway.
you. But they don't sell it at Target. They don't sell it at like Costco. It's like those like stores you have to go to that are like specifically grocery stores. They have Hint of Honey Almond Breeze. It's like 60 calories a serving, which is still over 100 less than like 2% milk or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy.
how
Almost
much less?
so
And,
yeah.
and it's like sweet, but not
Yeah,
too
it's-
sweet.
yeah, it's good.
And it's like you can drink it. You can just put it in cereal, and you don't feel like, oh, I'm drinking fake
Yeah.
milk. Like
It's actually really good if you get like plain Cheerios, not the honey nut, and you do the hint honey.
oh.
Nah, no. Honey Nut
It's
Cheerios.
good, you guys.
Sam, no, I'm not. If you guys are trying to make me eat bland stuff, yeah, you know what? Hey, what you need to start doing? Don't put any
this
salt
is-
on your food,
no.
all right?
This
Yeah,
is
you-
what
you
I
don't
live
need it.
with.
I
I have to live with
know.
Sam, who's like, oh, this recipe requires 70-30. I'm gonna use 90-10. Or like this recipe requires
99-1.
Yeah, this like percent fat. Or like this recipe requires butter. Nah.
I know if it says like a couple
like-
tablespoons of butter, I'm like, it just needs like half.
Like I'll just do a spray, a butter spray, and it's like we're
I do that
we're
all the
learning
time.
that like just because something's lower calories doesn't mean it's better.
Or
Well,
like
you did
I'll
make.
lo-
You make that one bread that
Okay. I make really good blueberry loaf bread. It's really good.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I'm going to make it healthy. And
just. She made it
I
dry.
can't complain because
You made
I
it
don't
dry.
make I don't make any of the food. I enjoy cooking, but
he's made dinner for
She-
me once.
yeah, like if she like
What'd you make,
likes,
John?
What did I make?
Cereal.
No, he made tostadas. And he made like his own taco seasoning
Oh,
and
yeah, I remember
homemade
that.
shells.
He was very proud of
homemade
himself.
Shells,
And
homemade taco
11
seasoning.
months of marriage. That was our one meal you made.
But it's like she's able to make the food, and so I'm not going to complain.
Well, she likes it too.
I try not to complain.
Yeah.
So like when she decides to do substitutions, it's like, well, I'm not the one cooking the food,
Mm-hmm.
so that was her decision to make. But sometimes it just backfires, like blueberry bread. Do you want to continue?
Yeah, so first when I made, like, it's my specialty now, like this bread. It's
Yeah,
delicious,
you do.
right?
Yeah, you do a great job.
So when I first made it during quarantine, because everyone was making bread, I already got like the lower percent milk. I used Greek yogurt instead of like whatever it called for and stuff. So I already made it kind of healthier. But I was like, oh, I'm going to take it another step further. And I got coconut flour. It was disgusting.
It
and I
didn't-
made it for a friend too.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that it tasted bad. It was just so unbelievably dry.
It was like
It was like
Yeah.
it was dense and dry though, which was weird.
Yeah.
But I ate a lot of it.
John,
You
you
ate
ate the
all of
whole
it.
loaf.
I ate the whole loaf. Sam gave me a slice, and I went, nah.
Yeah,
You
and
literally ate the whole
well, then you guys said you didn't want it, and I was
Yeah.
like, all right. And I just so what I would do is I would put it in a bowl, and I just pour some almond milk on it, and it made it not as dry.
That's what we made it for our friends too, and we told them, hey, we can't give it to you. It's disgusting.
Yeah, I had a loaf I made 2 loaves.
Yeah.
And then they were like, no, we love bread. Bring it. And then they were like, it tastes great if they
Put a bunch of butter on it, I
they
think.
put butter and then microwaved it or something, and it like made it moist. And so it was like, there's or if like, a common thing people do is they'll cook steak on a grill and they'll put a slice of butter on top and it like melts into that. That is something that Sam won't do.
Yeah.
I've done it before.
It is like you have to die to yourself to be able to purposely put like fat
I don't
on
know.
an.
I
It's
used
the
to be
bikini
scared.
competitor
I
in
know.
her.
I used to be scared of
It's
olive
the
oil.
bikini competitor. Oh, you just said.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, that sounds like my thought. I'm gonna say it.
He doesn't listen to
I
me.
used to be scared of olive oil, and like that's a nice healthy fat. But I've just started cooking with it again, like the last couple months, and delicious.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah, it is delicious. Yeah,
But- I will say everyone needs to get an air fryer.
Why
can use less oil.
are you looking at me?
It's just great.
I just use a microwave to cook everything.
seriously.
yeah.
I've done some air fryer meals. Air fryer is legit,
Yeah.
But I understand that there was on YouTube and in bikini competitions and bodybuilding and all that stuff, there was a serious push where it was like, how low can we make every single meal calorie wise?
Yeah.
And the
I
thing
feel
is
like-
like
yeah.
that stuff it's useful.
Yeah.
If you're using it sparingly, I think. Like if you're using it every once in a while and you're like, I want to have this thing, but I want to maybe make it a little bit healthier and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like that's fine. But when it's like every single thing you eat is somehow you forced it to be lower calorie than it should be, or you know what I mean? That's probably not a good way to go about things.
Yeah. I've been trying to focus more on just nutrient dense.
Yeah.
Yeah. What we made breakfast for your parents once.
Oh yeah. So it was Mother's Day, quarantine version, and so I invited my mom and my
I
aunt.
say your parents. It's your mom and your aunt.
It was Mother's Day. Yeah.
They're in my mind. They're both your moms. And you
Yeah,
have
seriously.
And you have a dad.
And I have a dad on the side too.
Two moms and a dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a modern family. But I made like a brunch for them, and they came over, and they kept going on and on and on. Like, this breakfast is so good. Like, going on and on. And I'm like, you really liked it? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, it was healthy. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah, that was sugar-free syrup with the protein waffles. And they're like, what? And I was like, yeah. And that had lower sugar ketchup for the air-fried potatoes, And they
Yeah.
were like, what? Because it's like, we didn't grow up eating super healthy or anything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
In your mind, lower sugar ketchup is gross. If you just
Yeah.
think about it, you're like, yeah, that's gross.
anything
But in
altered
reality-
is gross, but it's like tastes the same. And they were like so in awe. Like I'm
Yeah.
like, yep, those protein waffles that you said you wanted waffles, and they're like, wow, that was so good.
Yeah, I used to. It's weird how you like acquire a taste too. Like I used to not like protein waffles because you're used to Eggo waffles, or I mean, I was.
You used to love Eggos. Oh my gosh.
I still do,
Oh, I haven't seen you eat one.
but it's like because they're
Because you don't buy them for him.
Yeah, true.
They're thinner.
I'll get the whole grain ones.
Yeah, they're thinner, and so they're crispier, and I would love that crispiness, and that's something that protein waffles just don't.
You can
have.
make like sandwiches with them too,
Yeah.
which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But protein I've come to acquire I like that thickness of a protein waffle that like a regular waffle doesn't have.
Well, a regular waffle is a frozen waffle that you make in the toaster.
Yeah, and regular mac and cheese comes from a blue box.
But it's like most waffles are not Eggo waffles. Most waffles are probably more similar to the protein waffles
Yeah.
that she makes than they are to Eggos.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
We
we
just-
definitely have a distorted view of food
And we didn't eat
because-
Eggos. We ate the Albertsons version
Yeah,
of Eggos.
but yeah, I remember one time we went to a friend's house. I went to a friend's house, and they did homemade mac and cheese, and I was like, I like Kraft mac and cheese better.
I made
Like,
homemade mac and cheese the other day.
I'm growing up in my tastes and flavors, and I remember we had to throw it all away because I didn't eat it.
I know.
Mac and cheese is hard because I looked once I looked at how many calories mac and cheese has, and I went, holy
Yeah,
moly.
it's no joke, man.
And
Yeah.
I
Well,
used
you
to-
think it's noodles,
It's
and
just
then
carbs
and then
on
fat
fat.
and cheese and
cheese,
it's
butter.
no joke. Yeah.
Mac and cheese is one of those hard ones that I've had to
Yeah.
accept. I mean, every day when I was in 7th grade, without fail, I walked home, I put on Austin Powers' The Spy Who Shagged Me, and I made mac and cheese out of a blue box.
But it was the milk that made a thick boy.
Yeah, it was the milk. I used whole milk
Yeah.
in the mac and cheese, but every single day that was my post-school meal. And so it's like when you have stuff like that as a kid, that's like this is the taste of this.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to break that, and the
Yeah.
only way to break it is by consistently substituting or whatever. But
I know, that's why I have to remember, like, when people are like, I don't know, like, what I can swap out, you know, if they're trying to, like, make changes. Because I like bland stuff. So I have to, like, try to remember, like, nice substitutions, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not be like, oh, you have to, like, do all these crazy things and never eat olive oil again,
yeah,
you know?
what are your favorite substitutions?
Oh gosh, don't ask me, man. My taste buds are trash cans.
I was gonna say
No.
like if someone were to be like, oh, well, I am interested in doing some substitutions. Like, what do you say are ones that you're like, you can 100% switch this for this, and you won't even make a difference?
I would say like there's a lot of like dressings, like salad dressings. Like some people are like I only like ranch, but you can find like ranch similar things that are much lower in calories.
Yeah, I mean,
and the same thing with syrups, like
Caesar, like Caesar sauce, Caesar syrup,
Dressing.
What is it?
Caesar
Dressing.
sauce.
Caesar sauce?
That has hundreds of calories, but then you can get like the Bolt House Farms one,
Bolt House
Yeah.
Farm.
which is a yogurt base versus
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
ranch or mayonnaise or whatever it is base. Significantly less calories, tastes just as good.
Yeah,
Another one is sugar-free syrup.
yeah.
sugar-free syrup. And I think, like, all the
I
sparkling...
think,
Hundreds
I think
of
more
less
people would
calories.
argue that it doesn't taste as good. But I don't know. For me, I really don't care
I
at
can't.
all.
I
was
can't tell the
shocked.
difference.
I can tell the difference in thickness.
Yeah, the thickness. Yeah,
but
for sure.
like that's it. Like once you heat it up, regular
Yeah,
syrup
especially-
gets
yeah.
thins out, and
Yeah.
then sugar-free syrup tastes just fine.
Or like all the sparkling waters and stuff. Like I had a lime LaCroix yesterday. It tasted like Sprite.
Nah, that's a lie. I don't believe you.
Okay, probably haven't had Sprite in like 10 years,
Yeah.
but literally it
Don't-
tasted like Sprite. Everyone go
don't
get
listen
it.
to what she's saying. She's lying to you right now.
I don't know. There's some like evidence to that, but even like some people can't like they don't like the transition from like Coke to Diet Coke or Coke to Coke Zero. That's a thing for me that isn't a difference anymore. I love Coke 0 Like Diet Coke can sit in a trash can, but
Yeah.
Coke Zero is delicious. But even like if you don't, maybe you don't want to do the aspartame or whatever it's called.
What's it called?
You tried, dude.
Aspartame, aspartame.
It's aspartame.
Aspartame. That's what I said.
Aspartame. Okay, Chris. That's what Chris Jones used to say from Physiques of Greatness. You guys remember him?
Yeah, I do.
Aspartame. Jeez, man.
If you don't want to do that, grab a Zevia. You know.
Oh my God, dude.
What?
Isn't it Zevia?
Zevia.
Is it Zevia?
Like stevia, the sweetener.
Okay.
Zevia.
Yeah. I thought
Honestly,
you were
I
messing with me.
pronounce all these things wrong though. But
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure it's Zevia.
Okay.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Just
I love Zevia.
yeah, stuff like that. Like simple substitutions that, you know. I mean, I think the biggest thing is try not to drink your calories.
But I'm
Whatever
just
it
trying.
takes.
I'm just trying to give people realistic expectations because I don't like when people these health nuts are like tastes just the same and they try to say
It's
LaCroix
me.
tastes the same as Sprite.
It
No,
does.
it doesn't. No,
That's
you're
me.
lying to people.
Hold on. I think if someone hasn't had Sprite in years, and all they have is a recollection of what Sprite tastes like, and they taste a lime LaCroix, they're probably like, "Oh, holy crap!"
Well,
So everyone don't drink Sprite for years.
Yeah.
Because
so in
then
10 years,
that
you
person
can.
doesn't drink Sprite, you know, and then they have a Sprite, and they're like, "Oh
Yeah.
gosh, what was that?"
I will say, okay, I think all like the lower calorie ice creams taste just like ice cream. Like
No.
Enlightened,
Not all of them.
Halo Top,
no.
like
That's
all
a
these
lie.
ones.
Halo
So
Top
you're-
is
you're-
trash.
you have-
Arctic Zero.
But okay, I haven't had Arctic Zero in years.
Dude.
So I think they changed it though.
Yeah, they've they've upped their calories because they used to be literally it was like 100
80
calories. It was like
yeah.
100 calories for the whole pint.
And it was like
Yeah.
shaped
water.
ice.
It was like water.
Yeah, it was like protein. It was like frozen protein.
Yeah.
But it was like maybe a year or two ago, and I was like, I want ice cream. And John went to 7-Eleven, and we got a pint of Ben & Jerry's, and he's like, let's just have a couple bites. It was so, like, thick
Yeah.
and sugary,
Mm-hmm.
and it was really good.
Yeah.
But I was like, whoa, this is what ice cream tastes like.
No, I know for a fact that Halo Top and Enlighten, like I like them. I eat them. I ate one yesterday, right? I like them, but I know that I'm making a compromise because for me, if I'm going to buy a pint of ice cream, I'm going to eat a pint of ice cream. And so even for like the lowest calorie like Ben & Jerry's that you're going to find is at least 1,100 calories, maybe more, right? And then like the highest Halo Top is going to be 400 calories. And so for me, it's like, okay, I would much rather just eat the whole thing and like not have to worry about it, and there we go, you know. So, but I wouldn't like when people are like, yeah, it tastes just like ice cream. I'm like, come on,
Yeah,
let's not lie to people
that's
because
me.
they're gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, and they're gonna taste it and like, no, it doesn't. And then so if you were to just kind of bring back their expectations of them, but hey, it tastes pretty good, but hey, it's not regular ice cream, and then people at least have the right expectations going into it.
It tastes just like ice cream.
No, it doesn't.
I think that
No, it doesn't. She's
do
lying.
do those substitutions, and then in a couple of years, you will realize, oh wow, this is actually I don't need the ice cream.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You can get to the point where you're like, nah, I don't actually like you. It's a slow boil both ways. Like you put the frog in the water and just start boiling it. Like with sugar content goes up and up. Sweetness, and you're like, yeah, that's not that bad. It's not that sweet. And then you like go a year without that sugar content, and then you try to eat it again. You're like, oh my gosh, that is so much. The same way, the other way. Like, get yourself used to these. Like, you don't need that many calories.
I like how you abandoned the frog thing like midway through that.
No, I was saying slowly build yourself up. And then with the frog, when you want to unboil the
Oh,
frog,
yeah,
you
there you go.
slowly don't do everything at once. Don't try to do coconut flour in your blueberry bread, okay? Slowly build yourself down till where, coconut flour maybe isn't the worst thing in the world, but I don't think we'll ever
It's
do
been
it
a
again.
while since we heard one of your analogies, so thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That wasn't one of your best ones.
Yeah.
I would say that was in the top 10. Top 200, for sure.
Have you guys ever had those Pasta Zero noodles?
No, but I want to try them really bad.
She's the type of person that would say these taste just like regular noodles. They don't.
I think that
They
the
don't.
I've heard
Bait.
Magic Spoon is also pretty interesting.
I've heard it's a weird tasting thing.
I wanted
Yeah.
to try that too, you guys.
Yeah, it's like a protein cereal that everyone like.
It's
they're-
like good for keto too. It's
they're
like
going,
high fat.
Yeah, they're going hard on like social media and stuff.
Yeah,
and
I've seen 'em
everyone's like,
everywhere.
"This is so good," and I've heard the opposite.
Yeah, we'll see.
I don't.
They're
wanna,
probably not going to sponsor.
I
our
know. I was
podcast.
gonna say I don't want to ruin
You
it.
guys, I'll probably like it. I'm gonna buy some and I'll probably like it.
It's expensive too, though. That's
Really?
the
Someone's
thing,
gonna buy
yeah.
it for me to try. Okay.
Who's someone, John?
Wait, what?
Yeah, but even like the protein noodles, like the spaghetti noodles,
I'm not.
I don't mind that.
I'm
I
not
don't mind
against
they
it.
that.
taste like noodles.
I know. I would
They
say
taste a little
that
different,
They're a
but
little bit
I'm-
more like al dente. Like you can't get them as like soft.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's usually a little bit, which I actually like.
Yeah.
Like I like that more.
Yeah, the bonsai
Yeah.
noodles. I'm a fan of.
Yeah, I don't
They're
mind
pretty
those.
Bonza.
Bonza.
Yeah, I think it's
Bonza.
Bonza. There's no I in it.
And there's Burla.
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 You have to be careful with those because they have a lot of fiber too.
Oh yeah, that's
No.
why when you're injecting your insulin, everyone, you gotta account for the fiber.
Dude.
I
remember
don't
one
think
time
I love the
I
feeling
made
after
like
a lot of
noodles and I was like, oh, I want to make this like more volume, so I'm gonna put like a bag of broccoli in it. Nah, the next day was not good.
fiber. Oh,
It was too much fiber.
yeah, too much information.
Yeah.
Hey man, we're just being real.
Yeah. Well, speaking of top 200 analogies,
Oh God.
thanks guys for listening to our podcast. If you could do us a favor, if you got it this far, then you kind of maybe like something, or you just can't stand us, and this is just like
You
therapy.
hate listening.
Yeah, it's like therapy to you. You just listen to us for about an hour and just ruminate and just hate.
That's usually what I do
everything
when
you're
I'm not on
listening to.
episodes.
Yeah. So either way, if you could just leave a review, 5 stars if you feel like we deserve 5 stars. Leave a comment, leave a review, like us on Instagram.
Maybe they should leave a review too.
Yeah, leave a review. I'm just like it's like subliminal.
Yeah, leave a review.
Leave a review.
Leave a review.
What that does is that gets us in the top 200, which we've broken a couple times, and then
Yeah.
the top 50, which we've broken recently. So then when people are like, I just want to listen to a podcast, but I don't know what, and they browse the health and fitness.
Then they find us and decide not to listen to us.
Yeah,
ever
they
again.
find us and they go, don't know, this was not the one I wanted,
Yeah.
but at least they listened once.
We got that. We got that number.
Yeah.
You know.
So
And
Also-
shirts are shipping tomorrow, right?
Well,
Shirts are
hopefully
shipping
that's the plan.
Well,
This
this week
week.
then.
They should be
holiday
shipping
week.
out. They should be shipping out this week. Yeah, because the holidays and everything kind of push everything back a little bit. But they'll be shipping out soon, and we'll be having new designs soon. And actually, this red shirt that I'm wearing, if you're watching, they actually have a couple left that we're probably going to put up on the site. So keep your eyes and ears out for that.
And I'm really excited about some new designs. I'm like, I was making them in Zion and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool.
Yeah. Look out for it. It'll be exciting.
Yeah. And then follow us on Instagram, Work for Change Podcast.
Yep.
Tag us in your shirts.
Yeah.
that'd
But
be
make
super
sure you're
cool.
wearing pants too.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
Pants are optional.
All right. Well, if you don't wear pants, tag Sam because I don't want to see that.
I do.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Peace.
Bye.